All right, what is up, takers, and welcome to Ty's Take Today Live. This is how you guys know we're live, because I'm actually going to go ahead and wipe my camera because that is bothering me, and I want to make sure that y'all can see me clearly. So hopefully that's better. Let me just go ahead and wipe this off really quickly. I apologize. But like I said, the live, it's live. So this is what we do. Once again, this is Ty's Take Today Live. We do this each and every Thursday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And coming up on tonight's episode, we are going to be we have an exclusive interview with Jonathan Barlow, who is running for Detroit, and he is running for mayor in the city of Detroit. So our goal for tonight's conversation and discussion, as always, is to introduce him and the work that he has been doing within the city of Detroit and why he has chosen to run for mayor within the city of Detroit, Michigan. So I'm super excited for this conversation. And then also coming up later, I do believe we're going to be talking to RealYungG, who is a music artist from Chicago. So that being said, you guys already know, if you constantly are watching us every Thursday and Sunday, you already know how we do each and every opener. So be sure to follow us on Facebook at It's Ty's Take Today, Instagram, of course, at It's Ty's Take Today. Be sure to also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so that you get all the updates on when we go live on YouTube, of course, at It's Ty's Take Today. And if you're old school, you just prefer to get caught up on your reading and articles from time to time, you guys can check us out at TysTakeToday.com. And of course, things have been a little abnormal for me lately. So part of my platform, I'm always real with my audience and our following. So before we begin tonight and get into introducing our guests and sharing their stories and talents with you all, I do just want to take a brief moment to thank everybody who's been reaching out to me. Before we dive into tonight's episode, I want to just take a moment, like I said, to dedicate the show in tonight's episode to my mom, who, as you guys know, if you know who I am, my number one supporter, my biggest cheerleader in my world. She's always there sharing, reposting. She's always in the chats, talking and sharing her opinion. And things aren't where we would like them to be right now. She is in the hospital. So I just ask that we continue the power of prayer and we continue to lift us up and my entire family, and just really dedicate this entire episode to her. Where we're hoping for a full turnaround. But I just really want to say thank you all to those that have been reaching out to me, making sure that I'm okay. And I just ask that our audience continues to keep myself, my mom, and our entire family in your thoughts and prayers. Tonight's episode is for her. I love her so much, and it's so weird not having her watch this episode live as it's happening. But like I said, I just want to say thank you so much to her for everything and helping shape and make me the man that I am today. And that being said, we're going to keep pushing forward. We're going to keep the prayers coming. The power of prayer is real. And like I said, we're going to keep doing what I love. And I know that she would want me to continue to do our weekly episodes and continue to do great things. So that being said, this one is for my mom. And I want to welcome our first guest to the platform. Like I said, his name is Jonathan Barlow. He has given us the exclusive interview before the major announcement is made. And we really just want to open the floor and introduce him and the amazing things and the work that he is doing within the community in the city of Detroit. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and add him to the virtual stage. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Man, thank you so much, Tyler, for having me. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to join you today. And I'm just ready to get started. But before we even get started, I got to definitely say to you, my prayers and the prayers of my family are with you during this time. I can definitely understand what it is to have a mother that is not in the state that you would want her to be in, and to see her in whatever position, hopefully hoping for her to get better. I truly know how that feels, and I kind of share some of that with you later on. But I just want to tell you that we didn't have a chance to talk about it prior to the stream, but definitely my thoughts are with you.
Absolutely, and I thank you so much for that. Like I said, it's like I said, we're keeping faith, we're remaining strong. But that really means a lot to me. So I do thank you so much for that. And like I said, to everybody out there that has been keeping us in their thoughts and prayers, I definitely appreciate each and every one of your prayers, thoughts. And like I said, we're hoping for the best and continuing to be strong. That being said, Jonathan, I want to talk a little bit about yourself. I know, before we talk politics and your upcoming election, I really just want to truthfully and authentically, genuinely share with our audience more about who Jonathan Barlow is. And, we're going to talk later about the upcoming election and run for office. But I really just want to, like, you're not a stranger. You've been fighting for people, and I want to talk a little bit more about who you are as a person.
Most definitely. That's a great question. Oftentimes, I stop to take myself out of life in order to look back at and see what it is that I'm doing, what it is that I'm experiencing. Um, I am Detroit. I had to think long and hard about it, as to really how to start to communicate where and all that I've done. Um, the reason why I say I'm Detroit is because everything about me, everything that I do stems from what I believe Detroit goes through and what it lives as a whole. Born and raised right here in the city, a product of Detroit Public Schools and Wayne State University. I did get a chance to visit Ball State University for my first freshman year. Um, and that gave me a number of experiences that, of course, had me running back to Detroit, but and to start to attend Wayne State. But it gave me my first out of Detroit experience. And I think that so many Detroiters have yet to have time away from Detroit, and they often get caught up in Detroit. And sometimes those dreams are stagnant because of it. And so um, that experience in Indiana at Ball State did get open my eyes to a number of things in the world. But after coming back to Wayne State University, I became part of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, in which the number of civic programs, organizations, and partnerships, and understanding really where society um, was moving in business and different sectors. Wayne State was definitely a time in which I was able to really cultivate my ability to expand into other communities. Having such a diverse population that goes to Wayne State that you normally don't see in the Detroit public schools, that helped me build a lot of relationships. I don't think people understand how many children, or students rather, or young people, if you want to call them, come from Windsor or Canada or surrounding areas just to come to Wayne State, because of some of the things that they do. So I'm very proud to have said I went to Wayne State. Very glad to have all those opportunities start to come out of there. And what going to a college in the city of Detroit taught me was that government has and community definitely has influence over your life. Um, from Wayne State, I ended up running for public office before a lot of other people started to think about it, because I was taught that through my grandfather and my grandmother, which I'll explain in a second. I was taught that advocating for those that are disenfranchised, marginalized, and then even speaking up for yourself a lot of the times is necessary. And so running for city council to show my peers and to show those coming up behind me that it is possible, that we can engage early, that we do have a voice, that we can have a seat at the table. It worked. And I think that the impact of breaking those type of barriers for my generation allow a lot of individuals to walk through the doors. A lot of them are sitting on city council right now. A lot of them are sitting in other places right now. And they chose to run later on because enough ceilings have been broken, enough barriers have been tested in order to warrant that type of youthful leadership, especially after Detroit had been through a number of different scenarios of its own. And so after running for city council in 2009, helping out others to become successful, because that was the last citywide race, um, only citywide race that had 160 candidates in that race. And at that time, the city chose to elect leadership that I'm sorry to say it hasn't held up to the expectations of those who put those individuals in office. And so I chose to from behind the scenes, continue to work hard, diligently, working with Ken Downson over at the Black United Fund, small grassroots organizations. My heart is full right now because this morning I heard of the news of our good brother Luther Keith having passed, and I had to call around to several people to see if it was true, because Luther Keith was my guy. He showed me a number of different things after running for city council, the dynamics of journalism and media and how it plays. Is this my connection?
Yep.
Did I lose you, Tyler?
Nope, we still have you. Are you able to hear me? Okay.
Tyler, I know we live. Did I lose you?
All right, so we're gonna get Jonathan back. On my end, I could hear him, but I'm still gonna I'm just gonna refresh and get him back in. So bear with me, y'all, just a moment. All right, Jonathan, are you able to hear me? Okay. All right, you guys. So we're gonna work on getting Jonathan back. If you all bear with me just a moment. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and we're gonna reset some things on our end as well, just to make sure that we're able to get him back. So give me just a moment, you guys. And like I said, we're live. So if you guys want to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Is Ties Take Today, let me go ahead and try to add Jonathan back in here really quickly. Jonathan, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know what just happened. This is my first time streaming on StreamYard, and I apologize if it was on my end.
Yep, no worries.
Sure
I'm not sure. I was say I'm not sure if you lost audio or there was something with the connection, but we were able to still hear you. Do you want me
I'd rather come outside. Maybe it was the inside that wasn't working as much, but this might be a little bit better.
All right. So you can go ahead and continue with what you were saying. We like I said, we didn't lose you at all, so we were at no point was the audio disconnected.
Okay, cool. So what the city council race taught me, along with I was telling you that my heart was full because I heard of my good friend Luther Keith having passed this morning, and the type of experiences that I gained on the grassroots with Arise Detroit and so many other organizations, it really put me in a space of trying to see what can take place as an average citizen and what powers I had as an average citizen to really engage government leaders and others. And so, to make a long story short, I ended up putting an initiative on the ballot in 2017. Actually put 2 initiatives on the ballot. So I'm pretty much one of the very few that has changed legislation as an average citizen without being elected. In addition to that, I've been able to help a number of different individuals in municipalities expand federal funding and capacity for their municipalities. And so ultimately, everything I've done has led up to this point. That's really my story. I have a number of different relationships and a number of different experiences in which I'm not able to disclose. And that's the crazy part about my life, is that a lot of things that I've been able to do have been for agencies that you probably never will hear of, and things internationally and locally that are for clients that would rather remain nameless. And so, because I've seen such a high level and seen so many conversations take place behind closed doors, I could not continue to enjoy the fruits of life without giving Detroit one more opportunity to really receive and get the leadership that it truly deserves. A lot of systems that we tend to hold dear, and a lot of the institutions and organizations that we call staples in our communities, they're dissolved, and the fabric of what was yesterday is no longer applicable today. And it takes a renaissance of a generation to come up, step up, be vocal about it. And that's what I'm pretty much here to do. So when you say where do I come from, who am I am Detroit. I am the grit, the grind, the whole nine when it comes to how it is that we can get out of the place that we are today into tomorrow.
Absolutely. And like you said, I feel like it's very important and essential to mention that, you know, you've been fighting, even if it has in some ways been like behind the scenes, you've been fighting for family, youth, entrepreneurs, and just various issues overall impacting Detroiters for quite some length, you know. So I wanna talk a little bit more about, you know, because for those that may not be familiar with Detroit, you know, Detroit has a long history of struggle, but also resilience. I know you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but what does being a Detroiter look like to you? And then also, you know, how has the city of Detroit shaped you as the leader in person that you are today?
So what does the Detroiter look like, right? Um, for too long, there's always been a Detroit versus everybody mentality. I think that's, although I went to school with Tommy Walker, I love him to death. But I think that's the worst brand Detroit can have on her at this moment. I think Detroit needs and wants to love on the rest of the world, not be an enemy or be a foe to the rest of the world. And I think that's the rebranding that is on its way to take place with a leader like me if elected mayor. And so I would probably say that a Detroiter, and what does Detroit mean to me is everything. If I believe Detroit stands for community, anywhere you go around this world, if you find a Detroiter, there's an instant and immediate connection that surpasses the connection that's made from any other two people from any other city. It's almost like magic, right? You could be in Paris or Rome, and you say "What up, though?" Somebody heard it from the other side of the room, and they be like, "What? They about to break out of their whole character just to get around that other "What up, though?" And so, I think being a Detroiter is colorless. I think it's religionless. I think it's everything that divides us less. And so, in this new era, in this new chapter, I just believe that a Detroiter is what the future looks like. And I truly believe that what the future looks like is individuals coming together for common purposes and common goals without looking to take away from each other and just building each other up. And so I believe at the heart of Detroit and in the spirit of Detroit, that's what it represents. And that's what I believe I represent, and why it makes it such a great place.
Absolutely. And of course, we have to dive into, you know, just some of those topics. I know that we could go for hours, you know, having a conversation about what needs to be addressed or what needs to be changed or improved for the better. But for you, if I had to, and I am going to ask you, what are the top three issues facing Detroit, or just top three issues overall that you feel strongly about? And then can you tell us a little bit about how you plan to address those? I know that's like a too loaded question.
Yeah. And so I want to be very clear this whole election that Detroit's issues and what needs to be done are two different things. And this is where I'm coming from. Detroit's issues are systematic, and they're prevalent, and they're very potent amongst its leadership. And I don't mean leadership in terms of our mayor, Mike Duggan. I'm talking about leadership after you leave the Coleman A. Young building downtown. I'm talking about the leadership that holds its post and then has backroom deals that negatively impact the community. And so systematically, the leadership outside of City Hall needs to be addressed in a way that is unifying and that plans for the future rather than being reactive. I don't know if I answered the whole question, but
Yes.
no, I didn't answer the whole question. So that's leadership, the system, and if you had to put a third thing, it's engagement. No one's engaged. The next generation is not engaged. We don't know how to talk to nobody. And ultimately, when we do hear something, it's always me. It's never, how can I help you? And so the three things that I plan on focusing on ultimately will be rolled out at the announcement, but I'll give you a sneak peek because you my guy, Tyler. I believe that the city needs to focus on investments, jobs, and homes. Now, being a businessman, I know we can't get anywhere without understanding our resources and being able to understand where other resources are. Jobs are definitely something that has to be considered moving into a new economy, and then homes continue to ail us and defeat us left and right. And Detroiters are scared. And I understand why. Because one wrong slip, one random thing can cause them to go from just making it to under the water. One family member slips and gets hurt. One accident. Anything can happen to one family, and their whole life is turned upside down because they're only just making it. So housing has to be considered. But I got a few other things that I'm going to release throughout the campaign that I can't let my competitors know all my sauce. You know, everybody likes to say everything that other people say during election cycle.
Absolutely. Got to definitely have something to keep for that announcement and keep it in your back pocket for sure. I know you mentioned, just a couple of issues that need to be addressed, but, on our platform, we talk about, mental health and just a wide variety of topics here that are impacting, communities and especially underserved communities. Or I feel like a lot of the times there's a lot of conversations that people choose to go run for the hills and go the complete opposite direction because it may be easier to not have those conversations. So I definitely want to take a moment to address crime and public safety. Obviously, those are two things that impact every neighborhood, no matter where you are. Are you able to elaborate a little bit on, any specific policies or what your stances are? I do also have to ask you your thoughts on the Shot Spotter initiative, as well as initiatives such as Project Greenlight Detroit. I'm interested to know and would like to know your opinion on those initiatives or similar initiatives.
I'm very, 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 very concerned about the safety of all Detroiters. It's part of the reason right before COVID, I started to travel as much as I did. Outside of other crime that I've been personally affected by, One has been armed robbery.
And you guys,
Lou,
there we go. Okay.
Yeah, my bad. A call came out. I need to put on do not disturb. That'd probably be good for the live, right?
Hey, absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean,
we're
we'll work
making
it
it
out.
work.
By the next time I do a live time, you'll look at that and say, "Oh, I made him a pro," right?
Absolutely.
So,
no, it's the power of live. Hey.
So being a victim of armed robbery in the city of Detroit, I know what it can feel like. I've had businesses that have recently been broken into that have a green light on the establishment right next door. There's a great big disconnect when we can have incidents like last year at Eastern Market, when we can have so many other individuals slip through the cracks, and there's not an outrage or a concern and a high intensity advocacy amongst our leaders. My problem is that leaders find a camera every time something goes wrong. But sitting in their chambers or sitting in their offices, thinking about the problems is not enough, because you're not doing anything preventive to handle it. And so when it comes to public safety, when it comes to ShotSpotter, when it comes to Project Greenlight, I'm probably one of the very few that have convinced a number of businesses to bring on a green light. I've negotiated probably the most community benefits agreements for Detroiters and community organizations. I believe that ultimately you have to have a mayor who understands the streets. You have to have a mayor who understands the geographical landscape and the different neighborhoods to understand why crime and why things happen like they do. But there's new innovative concepts that speak to public safety and safety by design. There's ways to construct our neighborhoods to make them less crime infested and more family friendly just by the design itself. And so I think innovation is our way out of any negative impacts that public safety is having. I believe that it's become less over the years with our current administration, Mike Duggan. I've had the chance to talk to a number of police chiefs over the course of the years. I understand some of the nuances. I understand the rapid need for technology. And I think you just need someone who has experienced the negative impacts, but also has a keen understanding of innovation and technology and how those things can feed into economic development and possibly provide the environment that we all strive to live in.
Absolutely. And Jonathan, I know we talked a little bit about the economy, but I know we've seen growth in certain areas and certain sectors when it comes to Detroit's economy. But I feel like we're seeing a lot of growth when it comes to like the tourist attractions, where we're seeing a lot of growth in like downtown, Campus Martius, Greektown, Midtown, you know what I'm saying, Tech Town. So we're seeing development in those areas. But my question for you is, are you able to share with us just a little bit more about your stance on just the overall economic development and making sure that that benefits all Detroiters and not just big businesses or corporations? And I could throw out names, but you don't need examples.
Yeah, so I think there's a misunderstanding. I think there's a great misunderstanding, and this is coming from a businessman. If you don't have resources to invest in development and you're not ready to receive investment, then where does that leave you? I've been part of a number of different conversations and meetings that involve community members that have no direct monetary interests in downtown, but have prime real estate locations in communities around the city. Over the years, until 2017, the market on real estate has dropped in Detroit. And so they tried to hold on to properties, but they've never really had the resources for development, and it's never been the right time for development. It's just becoming the right time for development in a lot of our lifetimes. And so if people understand the trends of history and how cities are built, it's always inside out. But more so than anything, when you see inside out being built downtown, that's the signal and that's the flare gun that says, get ready now. And so it's no more, I'm a conversation changer. I don't have time to deal with what we can't change. We can't change yesterday. The question is, are you ready today? Now, if I come to your community and you say you're ready, and I say, go talk to the banker right there, and then they say you're not ready, then now I'm going to look like the person who lied. And I think that's where the mayor has found itself during the last 12 years, which is I have to find who's ready and who's ready to work for the people. And who's ready to bring a deal, the best deal for the city of Detroit. And so he has not let anyone come into the city and into the community and just developed without the city's interest or the people's interests at heart. And so I think Detroiters need to change the conversation. Those who are complaining about development downtown versus the community, and say, thank you for not coming, having taken all the opportunities already. And I'm going to get ready for the next chapter of Detroit and take heed of one of those opportunities that might come our way.
Absolutely. And I know, we're trying to fit in as much topics as we can in a very short period of time. And a lot of these conversations have multiple components. But I just want to kind of give our audience, and continue to give everybody that's watching live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, just a little bit of an understanding of the issues that are important to you. I know we may have mentioned previously affordable housing. I know personally, just a lot of people, nowadays the cost of living is astronomical wherever you are. You can work multiple jobs and sometimes not even barely to be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment. So a lot of residents still, are experiencing that decision on whether or not they can afford to live in the city of Detroit. We talk about the elderly community and the elderly population. How do you plan, or even just your thoughts on, when it comes to affordable housing? I feel like that term is, heavily used, but not there's, it's just a term that is used so frequently, affordable housing. But, nowadays, what does that really look like?
So the housing market across the board in Detroit and regionally is messed up. But let me start here. In 2008, we had a foreclosure crisis. I did not see any of the leaders then, and I don't see any of the leaders now talking about this foreclosure crisis that we're already slipping in, but it's because they don't understand. The foreclosure crisis now is different because people aren't losing their homes. It's an oversupply, and developers are having a hard time, and therefore it's a trickle-down effect. And so different cities around the country are going to experience this next foreclosure in a totally different way than what took place in 2008. So we all have to admit that the housing market is not on cruise control. It's in chaos. And so now look at Detroit and say, okay, housing prices and real estate prices are shooting up. Detroiters have homes that are depreciating by the second. They're trying to sustain and maintain them. But at the same time, you have a new generation of families coming in that need starter homes, but are being outpriced by investors holding on to properties waiting for the best price. And so you need a little something for everybody. And I've found some of the best examples of churches, other faith-based organizations, community development organizations, and others forming partnerships within the community to address one of those categories. You can't address all the categories at one time. You have to address them head on, one at a time. And so we're going to talk about making starter homes for families who are just getting off their feet and really want to get into home ownership. That's one thing. But if we're talking about maintaining properties, that's something totally different. And if we're talking about the price of rent and the price of a new home, that's something totally different. And so I believe that a strategic approach for each is needed. And I don't believe that anybody else comes with the experience to do any of that, let alone understand the problem.
Absolutely. And then I know another issue we're gonna get to. I got a lot of questions that I'm trying to get in during this conversation. And like I said, no rush. We do have as much time as we need to have this conversation. But I want to talk about another issue that is of severe importance: public transportation. I want to know your thoughts and what improvements you feel need to be made for just overall, so that we have so many of even people in our audience, because our huge audience in the city, rely on public transportation to get them to work, to get them to school, to get them to their doctor's appointments. And I mean, you could sit out there for hours trying to wait on a bus at this point, where there's not enough buses or the buses are broken down. What type of shift do you feel needs to happen when it comes to public transportation?
Tyler, have you ever rode one of the Detroit buses?
Let me tell you, I have rode the D-Dot and I've rode Smart, and I can tell you the difference. I've had my share of plenty of experiences, seen some crazy stuff on these buses. And even at one point, like worried for my safety. Some of these bus stops are safety is a key issue too. I've been harassed by people while I'm waiting outside on the bus. So yes, D-Dot and Smart, there's a difference. I can tell you that much, hands down.
So I don't think transportation is an issue, because you have to understand the experience to change something that you have no idea about. It wasn't until they put the shuttle from the airport to downtown that you were even able to get downtown probably within an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. The shuttle helped. And so there are partnerships forming to address regional transportation, regional transit. But I have to ask the question a lot of times when I hear stories like I heard earlier today. I went to Wayne State University just to have some conversations with some students. A young lady tells me I'm missing class because the queue line doesn't run on time and can't give me the class on time. I said, when I was at Wayne State, and I thought to myself, I said, everything was in walking distance when I was at Wayne State. But now that the campus has expanded in a downtown city, we have parts of the campus many blocks away from the hub and the true area of the campus. And so that is when a university problem becomes a city problem. And so you have to know what people are experiencing to want to change it. And so when you go down to the Detroit Rosa Parks bus terminal at 7 a.m. in the morning, and you see what I see, which are, back to your original question, mental health, those who are homeless, those who don't want to be off the streets possibly, warming up in the bus center at 7 a.m., it does something to your heart. It doesn't allow for you to treat people the same way or to treat your job and policy the same way if that's what you're about. It should prick something in all of our hearts to run towards that problem, to want to solve something for someone else. And that's what I continue to look for in our leaders, and I don't see it. And that bothers me. It disturbs me. And if it disturbs everybody else as much as it does me, I might just be the next mayor of Detroit.
Look, and you segued me perfectly into our next question. So though, I just kind of want to give our audience, like I said, who heavily resides and works and lives and shops and is predominantly in Detroit. That's our largest demographic. Hence why we're having this conversation with you. For those that may just not be informed of, who's running for office for this upcoming election, I really want to talk to you and make sure that our audience tonight walks away from knowing what sets you apart from other candidates. I'm talking in particular, the current city council president, Mary Sheffield. I want to know what sets Jonathan Barlow apart from those that are currently in office, as well as those that you're currently running up against.
I think by the time that we've already had in this conversation, you can see I'm different. I'm a whole different machine. There's nothing, get this, everything that the other candidates have and anybody that gets in the race, I have it. I've done it, I have it. If you talk about pastoring, the pastors and the people that, get this, ask any other candidate about me. If they don't know me, then that means they've already overlooked someone who's outside of politics, working and able to do just as much as they have inside of politics. Okay? If they really lie and don't know me, which I'm pretty sure they'll end up telling you the truth, they're going to end up telling you that my family's legacy, which is a good time to go ahead and bring up my grandfather and grandmother now, they're going to tell you that their legacy is built on the backs of my family's legacy. You don't have some of the other competitors that are running against me. You don't have them if they weren't helped or supported by my family's legacy. I'm not going to tell anybody's business. I'm not going to tell anything. I just say, go ask all the candidates. And get this. The other thing that makes me different is this. I talk to more people in their camp than they do. For this whole last 15 years, I've been talking to their people more than they have. And then when I present things to them, it's always a delayed response, no action, or total incompetence. And so what makes me different is this. One, I've done things they've never done. I've been around the world and seen things and interacted with leaders all across this country more than they have. They cannot say that they've been on the ground in Atlanta. They cannot say that they've been on the ground in DC or Houston or Miami. They cannot say that they know the high net worth billionaires that need to be attracted back to this city in order to have more resources poured into this city. And ultimately, I truly believe that there's no experiences that they truly have that allows them to be capable of increasing capacity and going after more federal dollars to fill the gaps that Mayor Duggan has been trying to fill for the last 12 years. I would say more, but I'm pretty sure they're going to take these sound bites, master them, and try to defend them later on. So I'll leave the rest of the reasons on why I'm different and what's going on for later on down the road, because I might get worked up. Todd, if you haven't found out by now, I am a preacher. I am a minister. I haven't pastored any church, but of course, coming up under my grandfather and then being up under the leadership of Dr. James Minnick at Mount Pleasant Missionary Baptist Church, I believe ultimately, this is the other thing. Ultimately, I'm an advocate for diversity. That's what makes me truly different. And that's what they're going to see at the announcement. I'm going to have the most diverse support ever to show the real Detroit what it's really made of and what really we have at the table in order to move forward. So I think that's enough to convince a few people that I'm different, but they don't want to see me in this race, and they really want me out. They've asked me to get out, but I won't, because they haven't shown me a pathway for them to be successful. But I'm totally different from every last candidate that you will possibly see, because I'm not doing this for any reason but to make sure that the city propels forward and is in position to help all of our families, not just our church, not just our neighborhood, not just the east side, not just downtown, but all of our families. And I don't think everybody in Detroit gets the attention that they deserve. Somebody always gets left out. If not, most of the times, a lot of people get left out. So just remembering the people, I think, is my greatest asset and value to bring to the job.
Absolutely. And Jonathan, before we switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the upcoming announcement event that's going to be happening, and then also talk about a little bit about how more people can get involved with your campaign, and if there's anybody out there interested in donating and supporting your guys' campaign. I want to talk about that in just a moment. But lastly, I do want to talk about mental health. As I mentioned earlier, we talk about it so often with almost every of our guests on this platform. Being a survivor of attempted suicide and somebody who battles anxiety and depression, I've had that experience multiple times within my life thus far. And I just want to talk to you about, do you have any plans on making sure that there are these resources out there for people that may need them? I know that, a lot of the times it's just a matter of for people finding out how to get these resources or how to make these contacts. What's your thought on kind of the mental health services within the city of Detroit?
I'm the best person to deal with it. That's my thoughts. I'm the best person to deal with it. Let me tell you why, Tyler. Coming around the age of 21, one of my best friends, who was probably one of the most premier golfers coming out of high school, had a number of different things going for him. Suddenly came down with a diagnosis that said he had bipolar. He was bipolar, and that he started to have these manic episodes. That was probably the roughest several years. It's been one of the hardest things for me to deal with. To this day, I still don't understand how to deal with it. However, I found peace in prayer, in faith, and in hope that things could be done, and that he's not in a position or in a situation that brings any harm to him. Mental health altogether, outside of trauma, because we talk about mental health, but then we don't acknowledge those who are experiencing trauma, PTSD, all types of society factors and things like that have been imposed on them. I think 1 and 2 I think both are equally as important. Mental health, however, is something that you have to wrap your arms around. There's not a choice if you wrap your arms around it. You have to wrap your arms around it. And to not address it clinically means that we're not doing our job. And what I mean by clinically, each case is different. Each case is different because you have a total different support system behind that individual. You can't help that individual until you can help that family understand what it is that that individual needs, because as soon as you turn around, anything can happen with that individual, but it's the family and the support system that says constant. And so going back to public safety, but dealing with mental health, there has to be a sensitivity layer above that is placed on all customer service and all frontline and all service employees or first responders. There has to be a sensitivity layer put on top of all of that, because if you don't have a heart for them, you're not going to see them where they are. And so I come from a place and come from a legacy of, I can only meet you where you are. And if I can't see you, then I can't help you. And if I can't help you, I'm going to ultimately hurt you. And so I take it seriously. I hold it as a priority. I feel that ultimately, just as much attention as we give the patient, we need to give the family. And if we find out that the family can't, I think that we need to have environments in which we can still deal with those individuals, cater to their wishes, but still at the same time allow for society to be as comfortable as possible without feeling as though they're being disturbed. And if they do see something, understand what it takes to help and support the situation.
Absolutely. Very powerful. Like I said, you and I can have this conversation for several hours. So I just appreciate you giving us the time to share just a little bit about who you are and the issues that matter to you and what you stand for. That being said, Jonathan, I want to kind of shift gears a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about the Let's Win Detroit official kickoff campaign announcement? Can you tell us a little bit about that event, what people can expect, and when that event is going to be happening?
Definitely. We wanted to be the last announcement, but Chief Craig and a few others have still not announced, but we're almost a month out from the deadline of the ballot. And I wanted everybody to get all their words out. I want everybody to say what they needed to say. Let me say this. I respect and love every last competitor and candidate to the utmost. The fact that they're even in the race shows that they're willing to fight for what they believe in and for the people that they represent. But we are doing this intentionally only to win. And so the Let's Win Detroit campaign will be kicking off March 19th. The Detroit People's Food Co-op, downtown off of Woodward, right there in the Boston Edison News Center area. We're going there specifically because of what it represents and what it stands for. And we look to speak to the people and help them to understand that they do have an option to pick a leader that has their best interests at all times, not just on Sunday, not just when the cameras come on, and not any other time when they're in any other atmosphere, but all the time. And so 6 to 8, March 19th, you'll see the mobile billboards, you'll see some flair over there, but meet us there. Come. If you're still undecided, please come. If you're with another campaign, please don't come. But no, you're definitely invited, because I'm probably the only candidate that has reached out to every other candidate and tried to have conversation. A lot of them don't like to have conversation during this time. A lot of them don't want to have any discussion because they see you as the enemy. But the difference between me is I'm the one that's trying to talk to them before this election started. I'm the one trying to talk to them now. And I'm the one that always looks to unify people after an election. The only question is will Detroit want me to do it from the mayor's seat, or will they want me to do it from outside the office, in which it's 1,000 times harder to speak for the people that always come running. So March 19th, join us at Detroit People's Food Co-op.
Absolutely. And we'll be sure to share the flyer on all of our social media platforms.
Appreciate you, Ty.
I do, before you get out of here and we play a quick game of rapid fire, I do want to go ahead and share your website. And if you could just tell our audience a little bit more about where people can go to show their support, and if there's anybody out there interested in donating or volunteering. I know you have some information in a form on your website. So if you could share with everybody just a little bit on how they can get more involved with your community.
Yeah, vote Barlow.
I'm sorry, your campaign.
Yeah. VoteBarlow.com. Again, VoteBarlow.com. We have a number of different ways that you'll be able to find us. A lot of different domains are said to be coming our way. We have a lot of landing pages out there. A lot of comparison sites too, compares to other candidates as well. So VoteBarlow.com. You can join us there, or just search Jonathan Barlow. I'm pretty easy to find on the internet. If you see John or Jonathan this election cycle, don't be alarmed. Some people like to call me John. Some people like to call me Jonathan. I thought this election cycle, I give everybody a chance to call me both. So wanted to be fair.
Absolutely. And of course, Jonathan, I appreciate you for joining us and giving us the exclusive. I had to turn my light on. I was sitting here in the back of my mind, like the sun went down. Daylight savings time is right around I was like, let me make sure y'all can see me. So I apologize for the previous tech issues we had. But really, I just want to leave our audience with any, if you could just leave Detroit voters overall, those that know who they want to vote for, those that may be undecided, any final message that you would like to leave with those voters before we do the rapid fire?
Yeah. My only message to Detroit is, listen, I love you. And so find someone that loves you for you, can see you, and understands the future. Make a decision for your current family and for the family that's yet to come. That's what I want Detroiters to really think about for the next several months. For 15 years, has anything changed besides what Mayor Mike Duggan has done? If they believe so, then I think they can probably go with another choice. But if they truly believe that this can be an awesome place, that they would find in their hearts to elect a leader that is the most innovative possible and understands tech more than most tech people, I just ask you humbly for your support, for your vote. And I love you, Detroit.
Absolutely. Jonathan Barlow, thank you so much for joining us. As long as you're still down to play, I have a couple rapid fire questions.
Shoot them up. Now, these one word or just hold, I'm a preacher, so I've already talked too long as it is. So just give me one word. We do one word.
So they don't got to be one word. They can just be short and quick. Okay. First up, what is one word that you would use to describe your leadership style?
Effective.
All right. I like it. And 2, who's a political figure, past or present, that you admire the most?
To be 1,000% honest, political figure, I don't like politics. None of them.
Okay. No, I appreciate the realness. What is your go-to way to unwind after a long day on the campaign trail?
To unwind would be probably to sit, listen to some soul jazz, and just think about exactly what I can do to be better, and be better for not me, but for everybody around me. It's always about team building.
Absolutely. If you could, I know we talked a lot about a lot of various topics affecting Detroiters tonight, but if you could instantly fix one issue in Detroit with a snap of your fingers, what would it be?
I give everybody a house. Like Charlie Langdon said, give everybody a house. Tell them I said it first here. Charlie said give everybody house. That's what I would do. We might explore that idea one day. Don't hold me to it though.
Absolutely. Much love and admiration for Charlie. What's a hobby or skill that you have that people might be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, I'm a dominant athlete. I wish this was a basketball campaign. I would have won already, or a soccer campaign, or a football. I'm a dominant athlete. I'm like Anthony Edwards. Matter of fact, I hope to play Anthony one day. I might lose. He's a little bit more, younger than I am, but yeah, I like to win. I have to win. It's a must, and especially when other people are at risk.
Absolutely. So I have to ask you, Lions, thoughts on the Lions next season, thoughts on the Pistons right now?
Well, let me put you like this. My cousin plays for the Lions right now, so I don't have any other choice. Shout out to Chris Smith. Love you, man. Keep on doing your thing. But the Lions, Cade is becoming what we said he would be. I mean, you can't beat Durant. I think Durant is in the middle, right?
I think
Durant,
so.
How do you say his last? I see his. Yeah. So
I know who you're talking about.
yeah. And then I like Tobias coming back. It's leadership. Him and Tim Hardaway. I coached Renaissance High School and U Prep. Actually, I coached Skilla Baby for a minute.
Okay.
When he was in school. So sports for me, it's a thing, and it brings community, it brings unity, and it propels the city to the next level. And that's what the Lions have done for us, is giving us some fire, but we got to use that fire and take that jet fuel and hit the moon.
Absolutely. And if next question, which song or artist always gets you hyped up, energized, or even sparks your creativity?
Okay, I got a few. Nipsey, you got to listen to some Nipsey Hussle. You got to listen to Nipsey Hussle. Now, outside of that, a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. I like me some Mac Miller. A little, I forget his name right now. He's so soulful. I'll tell you his name when I see you one day. But I'm a real soulful guy. I don't have to be in a crazy mood just to be inspired. If it's a vibe, it's a vibe.
Absolutely. That being said, I'm going to add an additional one that I didn't send you in advance. But if you had to pick like your top favorite Detroit artist or rapper, do you have any like Detroit artists that stay on your playlist?
Skilla gonna hurt me, and Sada gonna hurt me if I don't say both of their names. But I'll be 1,000% honest about this. My favorite artist that I didn't give the credit for inspiration until the last year or two, and I totally apologize, and I hope he hears me say this, Payroll Giovanni. Payroll Giovanni shocked me with his ability to really communicate his journey and what it is to be inspired and to leave negativity and to strive for a higher level. If you understand the concepts of what he's saying, you would get it. If you don't, then you would probably be lost.
Absolutely. And lastly, Jonathan, if you weren't running for mayor, what's another dream job that you would love to have, or just something that you would like to do outside of politics?
I do what I want to do every day. I wake up every day. I do what I want to do. I live a great life. The only dream job that I have is helping more people, period. We were purposed here to make sure that the next person lives a quality of life that does not totally look lopsided when compared to ours. And so ultimately, the only dream job that I have is helping people. I've been doing it in the church, been doing it in the community, and I plan on doing it for the city of Detroit as mayor pretty soon.
Absolutely. Manifesting it, it's already in the cards. It's already in the manifesting all of those things. Real quick, I do, before we get out of here, Whoop Jones on Facebook checking in, saying earlier they had commented saying city investments, city employment in homes in the city of Detroit.
Wow.
So Jonathan, I just want to say thank you so much for giving us this exclusive to really introduce you to our audience and to help further your campaign and really introduce who you are as a person to fellow Detroiters. And like I said, be sure to let everybody know once again where to follow you on social media, and we'll be sure to share the event details for the official announcement as well.
Tyler, I appreciate you 1,000,000%. I'm so thankful you reached out. This has been truly a great time. Definitely, again, praying for your mom, wishing well wishes there. Keep me updated as to her recovery. But most of all, go to vote. All the listeners, go to votebarlow.com. That's VOTEBARLOW.com. I love to talk to you. Invite me out to a house party. Invite me out to a picnic. I'm coming to barbecue with all of you this summer. I don't care if I get elected. I care that you all get the leadership that you deserve. And I'm here to do it if you all choose me. God bless you. And thanks again, Tyler.
Absolutely. Of course, I will be sure to keep in contact with you and share all of your social media and contacts again on all of our social media platforms. Good luck. We already know what's in store for this upcoming election. So like I said, I just want to say thank you again, and we will definitely be in contact. Jonathan Barlow, Detroit mayoral candidate, thank you again for joining us this evening.
Thanks again, Tyler. Be safe.
Absolutely. You as well. And you guys are watching Entire State Today. I am so sorry, you guys. It's been a long, extended episode. So just pardon me with the technical difficulties that we had earlier. We just spoke to Detroit mayoral candidate Jonathan Barlow, and coming up next is going to be music artist, creative, actor, entertainer. We're going to add him next to the virtual platform. So if you guys are ready for that, I am going to go ahead and add our next guest to the live. Make some noise. Get ready. This is RealYungG.
Oh, what's happening, Brody? What's the word? What's the word?
What's going on, man? Sorry about that. I prematurely added you to the live. I'm playing producer, editor, all of the things.
Hey, self-made best way, man. You know what you got to do for shit show, man.
Absolutely. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really just want to talk about who you are as a creative, and I want to introduce you to our audience. So really, I know you're the CEO of YGN. And you're an artist from Joliet, Illinois, correct?
For sure.
So if you could just talk to our audience and introduce yourself to everybody, and what really inspired you to pursue music and entertainment.
What's happening with you, world? It's your boy RealYungG. I'm on Ties Take today, and basically, man, artist out of Joliet, independent artist, been independent my whole career. Really inspired me was just the love of it, like the art form of it, to be able to express yourself, be able to turn nothing into something. Like as a kid coming up, I had a hard time expressing my emotions. So I listened to albums like my dad had some record players, like cassettes, right? And I listened to Tupac, Me Against the World, Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. And I used to like how Tupac on the Me Against the World album used to talk about his feelings and emotions. I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can definitely do this. So one day, I seen Hustle and Flow too. And when I was watching Hustle and Flow, my OG, I was like, yeah, I want to do something like that. I want to really rap. He said, okay, all right, you want to rap? Okay, whatever. So we moved to Joliet because they used to stay in Chicago. We moved to Joliet. When I moved to Joliet, my pops heard me rapping over beats. That's when YouTube was really getting its start for real. So I would look up beats and I would rap. So my father heard me. He was like, you know what? You got something. But you know what? Before I can actually take you to the studio, you got to do something for me. I'm like, what? He said, man, you get good grades in school, whatever you do, I'm going to take you to your first studio session. So I got A's and B's and 1C. And he, he was a man of his word and took me to my first studio session. So yeah, that's how that happened.
Absolutely. And, as an independent artist and entrepreneur, what have been some of the biggest challenges for you thus far that you have faced and overcome in the industry?
Honestly, figuring it out, right? When I say figuring it out, everybody think that, I'm going to make a hit song and I'm going to go number one on the charts. I'm going to be famous. I'm going to blow up. It's not like that. You got to put in a lot of groundwork. Once I learned how the game was, I learned to redirect my focus on my brand. Like I said, man, I told somebody the other day, I came in the game marketing first. When I say that's because at the end of the day, you can make a hit record, make a hit song, right? But sometimes that song will only get like 100 views, 200 views. And some of them views may be from your friends and your people. Like, but it's a whole world out there. It's billions of people out there. So I had to figure out a science. I had to figure out a science of what makes me different. I had to figure out what can I do to, reach not just my local status, but global status. So once I found out how the game work and how record labels are the machines and how they use their money, the marketing dollars and everything to, put artists and push artists to the top. Once I realized, okay, guess what? I might not have a budget like a major label, but I can find out and study the marketing of a major label. My thing is in-house marketing, guerrilla marketing. You got to keep it in their face at all times. You guys stay consistently consistent. So once I figured that, I learned a little bit, sauce, as I can call it.
Absolutely. And I know I want to talk a little bit more about your latest single, Bitter, which is currently out.
Sure.
What was the inspiration behind that song? And can you tell our audience that may have not heard it yet, that song, where did that song come from?
Hey man, Bitter came from a situation. I was dealing with a young lady at the time. Things weren't clicking. We weren't working. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's not only for females, but it's for guys as well. Everybody can be better in a situation. We leave a situation. So at the time, I drew the inspiration from a past relationship. I was like, you know what? It ain't working. It ain't clicking. I'm going to go my way. You go your way. And at the end of the day, some people might not like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they become bitter because they still here. They stuck on the person that you used to be, not the person that you're becoming. So I mean, I got the inspiration from that, and we just created Bitter. Absolutely. God bless her though. God bless the young lady though, for sure.
You said it. It just wasn't the time, but
it wasn't the time.
But all the vibes, positive vibes to you still.
All positive vibes to you. Hey, I wish you nothing but success and blessings, many blessings for sure.
Absolutely. And then I just real quick before we continue our conversation, I want everybody to know that if you guys are watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, you guys can also be sure to go ahead and share your thoughts or any questions in the comments. We'll try to pop them up on the screen. I think this is for you, Tatiana McNeil, checking in. I believe she's checking in and watching on YouTube. So thank you for the support. I wanted to make sure we showed her comment on the screen. And I really just, want to talk about, can you talk to us about what your creative process looks like when it comes to writing and producing a song? Does it depend on, a lot of various factors? Do you have any type of rituals that you do when it comes to writing and producing?
Yeah, normally I say I write most of my best songs in the car, right? Like I'm the car is like my safe place. Everybody got a safe place to go to. So I go to the car, I might roll up, might smoke a little bit, vibe out some of the beats I get on my email, vibe out just here and just think about life and ponder on life, right? I sit back and I just think about, okay, what am I going through? Because for me, music is spiritual, it's connection, right? So I feel like, what am I going through in my life at this time? And how can I translate it into a musical format? So for me, man, I draw inspiration from my life. I draw inspiration from just living, man. Because at the end of the day, you got to keep living. I feel like, what I'm saying? Everybody be like, okay, you get to a certain age. Oh, you old. No, you only old when you stop living and stop learning. So as long as I'm living, as long as I'm experiencing life, because you're going to always experience. Every day you wake up, you want to experience life. So I just write about my experiences every day that I live this life. So yeah, man, that's why I'm in the car. I roll up. I think, I ponder, I sit back. I might have a drink here and there, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I really just ponder on life, and I really just turn that car speaker up with the beat, and I get to write it in my phone. So
absolutely, just be in the moment and just be really in tuned with what's going on and yourself. So we talked to a lot of different creatives on the show, and the entertainment industry, for those that don't know, whether you're rapping, producing, hosting, creating content, I feel like it, at times it can be extremely, it can just be extremely intense at times.
Yeah.
I know we talked about rolling up sometimes or, having a nice drink.
Yeah.
But really, what would be your message to, say, music artists or producers out there, or even entertainers that, may be battling some mental health matters or circumstances? Any advice or pointers or words of wisdom that you would share with them that may be watching right now?
Man, I say, man, number one, keep God first. Number two, know yourself. Self-love is the best love. At the end of the day, it's okay to take a break. I say take a break. Your mental health comes first. Because you can get so burnt out with everything, right? You get on Instagram, you see people living their best life, and you feel like, man, I'm not living like that. So you get kind of down in life, like, man, they whatever they doing, but people don't understand that you don't know the steps it took for them to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So I say take a step back and live in reality. I feel like nowadays, a lot of people, they lost touch with reality. A lot of people don't really live in reality. They live off of social media. They live off what they see. They don't understand that, you know, it's okay to sit back and focus on yourself. You got to focus on yourself because a healthy you is a good you. At the end of the day, you can't be burnt out. My thing is, if you burnt out, stop. I'm gonna tell you, my engineer gave me that advice. Shout out my engineer Chris at Cinema Sound Studio. He told me, if you ever feel like you're burnt out of this entertainment, burnt out of this music industry, just take a break. That's when it becomes less fun anymore. You gotta be, whatever you do, it has to be fun. Example, you get people that go to a job every day, right? They don't want to do it, but guess what? It's because they gotta, you know, make the money. They gotta live. They don't want to do it. It's not fun to them. So I'll just say, you know, find something that you enjoy doing. Focus on your mental health. Focus on loving yourself, and like I said, pray. God is your biggest friend. You know what I'm saying? God is your biggest blessing. So pray to God and just continue just to live your best life. For sure.
Absolutely, dropping gems as always. And then RealYungG, if I don't know if you were able to see, I just sent you a message in our little off to the side private chat. Because let me know if you got the message. Because that's
I did.
Okay. Because the way you introduced yourself at the beginning of our conversation, I want you to go ahead and let while I pop it up on the screen real quick, if you can introduce. We're gonna play one of your music videos here on the live. So let me go ahead and share our screen real quick, and then I'm gonna let you go ahead and take it away with the introduction.
What's happening with your world? It's your boy RealYungG on Ties Tech today. This is my latest single off the project that's coming out, Therapeutic. My latest single is called Why You Mad. It's like a bitter part 2. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just in that mode. I'm like, you know what? Why you mad? Why you mad at me? You bitter and you mad at the same time. It don't make sense. So right now, live on Ties Tech today, you're watching Why You Mad, out everywhere on my YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. Just go get it. Just watch it right now. You did.
All right, let's go.
Why you mad because you're bitter? Why you mad cause I'm that nigga? Why you mad cause I'm outside? Average hoes can't blow my high. Thought you was, but I'm the prize. Had to let you go. Can't lose my motion to no silly hoe. Had to let you know. Why you mad because you're bitter? Why you mad cause I'm that nigga? Why you mad cause I'm outside? Average hoes can't blow my high. Thought you was, but I'm the prize. Had to let you go. Can't lose my motion to no silly hoe. Had to let you know. Let's go. Wasted time, I can't get back, no strings attached, is what it should have been. I'm W2 for a win. Gotta keep pushing this life for sin. Why would I let a bitch play me? Fuck you over, now you hate me. Don't respond to rumors, bitch, you a cancer tumor. 6 at best, 8 because of the sex. Put them demons to rest, watch me flex. Bitch, I'm the catch, in case you forgot. Gave you life, a place to sleep at night. Can't say these hoes, they dim your life. So I'm back to doing me. Felt comfort in your vulnerability. Now you my enemy, can't let no bitter bitch ruin G. Once was lost, but now I'm found. Need a solid bitch to hold me down when I'm not around. Why you mad because you're bitter? Why you mad cause I'm that nigga? Why you mad cause I'm outside? Average hoes can't blow my high. Thought you was, but I'm the prize. Had to let you go. Can't lose my motion to no silly hoe. Had to let you know. Why you mad because you're bitter? Why you mad cause I'm that nigga? Why you mad cause I'm outside? Average hoes can't blow my high. Thought you was, but I'm the prize. Had to let you go. Can't lose my motion to no silly hoe. Had to let you know. Let's go. Cut you off, they call me Nino. Childish, but no Campino. Call a spade a spade. Ain't no goofy bitch, ride my wave. It's feeling obsessed. Put your clout, chasing the rest. I'm on a different level, higher than I ever been. Shout out to when he got me focused. In that mode, these hoes be broken. Are you joking? Popping you up, I shouldn't have. That's like what I'm getting. Play you late, find you something safe to do than fucking with a G. Focus on your kids, they need you more than me. Ain't going outside, leaving a bitter bitch mad. Focus on the future while setting flames to the past. Real love never lasts. Damn, that shit got me mad. Why you mad because you're bitter? Why you mad cause I'm that nigga? Why you mad cause I'm outside? Average hoes can't blow my high. Thought you was, but I'm the prize. Had to let you go. Can't lose my motion to no silly hoe. Had to let you know. Why you mad because you're bitter? Why you mad cause I'm that nigga? Why you mad cause I'm outside? Average hoes can't blow my high. Thought you was, but I'm the prize. Had to let you go. Can't lose my motion to no silly hoe. Had to let you know. Let's go.
All right, you guys are watching Ties Tech today live. We do this each and every Thursday and Sunday at 6 p.m. That was Why You Mad by RealYungG. And speaking of RealYungG, we are continuing our conversation. Thank you again so much for joining us. I do also want to get to the comments really quickly. Like I said, Tatiana McNeil checking in on YouTube. We appreciate you for watching tonight. NHF MGNT checking in as well. So just some of the people that are chiming in. But I really want to talk more, RealYungG, about what's next for you project wise. What can fans expect from you? Any upcoming music, collaborations, or projects that you're excited about to share with us soon?
Definitely, man. Right now, the album is done. It's called Therapeutic. It's basically a therapy session into my mind, man. I feel like, in the world, therapy is definitely needed. Music's my therapy. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people like I said, they go through things. And like I said, music is definitely a platform where I release my thoughts. So Therapeutic is definitely on the way. The singles that, named Bitter is on it. Why You Mad is on it. And my other single, Face My Fear, is on it. So I got 3 singles I dropped from the album. I'm looking at a end of the month release date, probably April. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put a date on it for sure, because my thing is I'm perfecting it and I'm, building up the momentum and the hype. More brand collaborations. I just locked in a social media brand ambassador deal. Glow Energy. It's an energy hydration company, kind of like Prime. We're doing some things. So I'm just, like I said, building a brand. Like I said before, I feel like my brand has always been bigger than the music. I said the music is the opening, but the brand is what keep you there. So just basically that. And just we just basically gonna keep our foot on their necks, man. Keep on dropping more music. My thing is flooding the market, staying consistent. And I got the partnership with United Masters that we did a deal, 80-20 split. So man, we just been working, man, trying to take this thing to the next level and keep on pushing and keep on having progress for sure.
Absolutely. And I want to talk a little bit more about, your previous performances. And I know you performed at Lollapalooza. What has been, what is that overall, that experience alone? Like, me reading that is like, damn, you performed at Lollapalooza. So what was that experience like? And, do you have any particular, I know each performance is probably, meaning to you, as it is, but any like key moments where, or memorable performances or events that you've had the opportunity to grace the stages with?
Honestly, man, I feel like every performance that I ever get a chance to do is electrifying. When I say electrifying, because it's an energy transfer. You give your energy to the crowd, they give it back to you. So I would like to say, man, I feel like anytime I'm granted to bless that stage, I love when, the fans put their phone lights up. They put their phone lights up. That made me feel good, like goosebumps, like, okay, all right. It's like I'm an astronaut going right into space, touching the stars. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I can't really name a special one, because I feel like all of them are special, because each one gets better with time. You know what I'm saying? As long as I keep on performing, keep on being able to bless people with my music and my presence, I feel like it gets better and better. So I can't really just put one on specific one, but I like to say all my performances really, for sure.
Absolutely. And then how do you see your brand and music evolving over the next few years? I know we talked a little bit about upcoming projects, but what does that really look like to you? And, what type of legacy would you like to leave on when it comes to your music and the talents and just the projects overall that you produce?
The legacy I want to leave is that you can do it yourself. You don't have to wait for the system. You don't have to wait for anybody to tell you that you're good enough. And if you believe in yourself, you put God first, you can accomplish anything. Like I said, I recently just got done being in New York. I was at the boxing match, the Tank versus Lamar Roach match, and I got inspired to start a sports company, YGN Sports. So my brand's YGN, right? It's the record label, right? But I want to have YGN Sports, YGN Films, YGN Realty. You know what I'm saying? Just the whole, just everything to do with business. Like I said, man, I feel like I'm a lot business savvy, so I want to leave a legacy that you could do something. As long as you have an idea, a thought, you have ambition, you do anything you want to do.
Absolutely. And before you get out of here, RealYungG, I do want to play a quick game of rapid fire questions with you. So for those that are new to watching the show, we do this with all of our guests at the end of our conversations. It's just some quick rapid fire random questions. Kicking us off tonight, what is one song or artist that always gets you hyped before a performance?
Man, it's a lot. I ain't gonna lie, it's a lot. I like to say, man, if I ain't listening to Drake, I'm listening to my boy Big Boogie. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to Big Boogie. So Big Boogie definitely give me hype. Drake definitely get the mood right. Somebody Bag Yo. Dirt, Free Smirk, Free Dirt. Yeah, so I got those are a couple of my favorites I listen to that give me hype for sure.
Absolutely. I'm a Drake fan as well.
Yeah,
and I know people about to go off on me, but y'all can say what it is. I'm a Cancer. Cancers are emotional, so if y'all want to send the heat that way, y'all can bring it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If you could collab with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be?
Man, I got a couple, man, but I'm gonna go with alive. Right now, man, my boy Teddy Swims, man, that's my brother, man. I love that dude. Teddy Swims is just fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's a real genuine person. You know what I'm saying? So I say Teddy Swims. Dead Michael Jackson.
For sure. As I say, Teddy Swims' voice is super powerful.
That's my boy, man. He's a great soul, man. God bless that brother for sure. Definitely.
Absolutely. And then if you weren't doing music or acting or just overall being an entertainer, what other career would you be pursuing?
Man, wrestling. I ain't gonna lie to you, wrestling, man. Like, I love the WWE. That was like really my childhood dream for real too. Like, I wanted to make music, but I also wanted to be a wrestler because I was inspired by The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Triple H, Booker T. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if I wasn't making music, I would definitely try to figure out how to be a WWE superstar for real.
Absolutely. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a huge sports fan, but like, or wrestling for that matter, generally. But when I say Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill,
for sure.
Say no more. So
man, they're killing it right now.
Bianca, hey, if you're watching, if we could tag Bianca in these comments, I'd appreciate y'all, because that's an interview that I definitely want to manifest.
Those queens for sure.
So they are definitely doing the thing. If you had to describe your music style using only 3 words, what would they be?
Real, emotional, and pain. Yeah.
Absolutely, very deep. And then lastly, last question. What is one thing on your bucket list that you have yet to do?
One thing on my bucket list I have yet to do. Be a wrestler, man. I'm a wrestler match at WrestleMania. There it is. I'm a wrestler match at WrestleMania. That is on the bucket list. I'd have been to wrestling events. I'd have been, I'm cool with a couple wrestlers. Shout out R-Truth. That's my boy MJF, Swerve Strickland. They're my guys, you know what I'm saying? But I really want to get inside that ring, man. I want to go ahead and give somebody the smack down, give them a people's elbow, or a G bottom. The rock bottom, I'm gonna give them the G bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Y'all heard it here first. RealYungG coming to WWE real soon.
Thank you.
All right, RealYungG. Before we get out of here, if you could just let everybody know where to find you. I know your music is currently streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. Go ahead and let everybody know where to find you and connect with you and follow you on social media.
Yeah, what's happening with your worship, boy, RealYungG? You can follow me at RealYungG. That's RealYungG on all platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, you name it. Once again, it's RealYungG. Follow your boy.
Absolutely, and we have it on the screen as well for you all.
You did.
All right, RealYungG, thank you so much again for joining us.
Appreciate you.
Somebody else in the comments, I think their YouTube handle is that handsome. I want to make sure I read it right. They said they were referring to your wrestling comment.
Man, for sure, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Get up in there, WrestleMania. Let's do it for sure.
Absolutely, and we'll be sure to include your social media and link all of our audience to where they can find you as well. So I thank you so much for joining us again this evening.
Ty, thank you for having me, and once again, condolences to your mother, brother, for sure.
Thank you. Prayers up and manifesting greatness. So I appreciate that, and we'll talk soon. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, so you guys are watching an extended edition of Ty's Take Today Live. Real quick, we do this each and every Thursday and Sunday, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if anybody is out there that knows more about Twitch, contact me, because that's where I can use your guys' expertise. Like I said, I just want to run through our comments real quick. YouTube user is that handsome, said let's go. Sending love during earlier our interview. Tatiana McNeil, Whoop Jones, and NHF MGNT, and of course we just talked to music artist, actor, and entertainer RealYungG. Once again, y'all, before we get out of here, we actually have a video to run for Sunday's episode. So if you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, we're going to go ahead and play a clip really quick of our guest that is going to be on Sunday. So let's go ahead and roll that clip right now.
3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And I'm going to run it back from the beginning.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Terrius. So this week, Sunday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be doing an interview live with Ty's Take Today, and I will leave the link below or in my bio. And yeah, just come watch us talk about my journey my music, new things that are coming. What else? My life. All that cool stuff. So 3:00 live YouTube. You guys can watch it there. I'll send another link, I think. And it should be fun. It should be really cool. You guys should get to know me. You guys don't know me outside of my music for real. So I'm really looking forward to this. I don't do these things often, so this should be entertaining as well as informational. So I'll see you guys 3 p.m. Sunday. Ty Takes today.
All right, so that was our guest on for our upcoming episode on Sunday. Here I am trying to play producer and get me back to the full screen, but there we go. So we're gonna be talking to music artist Terrius World and talking to him about his journey as a music artist and his current projects. Like I said, closing us out, I opened the show with this, and I do want to close out the show with this. This episode especially is dedicated to my mom, who is currently fighting. So I just want to take a moment to it's real awkward, and I can't describe it because usually she's in the chats blowing us up during the lives every week and every Sunday. So I just want to say this episode is for my beautiful mom who is fighting and is going to pull through. And I just want to say also to everybody that has been checking in on me, sending me thoughts, constantly making sure that I'm okay, and just really uplifting us right now in prayer. I want to say thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. It means everything to me, more than I could even begin to describe. So I just want to say thank you all, and also thank you to my guest this evening. Earlier today, we talked to Jonathan Barlow. He's running for mayor of Detroit. So that election is going to be happening in November. Make sure if you guys haven't watched or if you're late to the live tonight, be sure you guys go back and run it and watch that interview and conversation. Shout outs to Jonathan Barlow again for just allowing our platform to have the first major exclusive interview. And then we also shout outs to music artist RealYungG. I'm gonna let y'all know where to follow us real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here because I know this has been a very long episode. So let me go ahead and just pop that up on the screen real quick. If you haven't already, be sure to follow us facebook.com/@itsTiesTakeToday. Go ahead and hit us up on Instagram @itsTiesTakeToday. YouTube, of course, tap that bell and subscribe so that you don't miss out on upcoming episodes and who's on deck. We already have. We're starting to post who's going to be on next month as well as the remainder of this month. So don't miss it. And we'll see you guys right back here on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking to music artist Terrius World. So that's going to do it for tonight's episode. Follow us, subscribe, interact with us, share, and we'll talk to you all again real soon. Again, thank you guys so much for the prayers. Keep them coming from me and my family. And we'll see you guys right back here, same place, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm gonna do the 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central. I think we covered all the time zones, and we'll see you guys right back here on Sunday.